Roll VTR, 60 seconds live.
Stand by. Loading 1, 2, and effects 2. No, we're live at 60.
Out to the right. Rudy flush. Throws it down.
Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Uses it back to wide.
30 seconds live.
Across the field to Dyson. He's got something. He's got something. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it. End zone. Touchdown. Right. There was no flag on the field. There's a long drive.
In 3, 2.
What's your name, boy?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scoop Podcast Show. I'm your host, Sean Harris.
Hello.
For those of you who do not know me, now you know. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and also blogspot.com and all your other social media sites that's out there. To follow the show, you just go to facebook.com/The Scoop Talk Show. There you will find pictures, articles, videos, and everything else that you're looking for and much, much more. I would like to give a shout out and thank those of you that are listening to the podcast show at this moment in the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Algeria, China, USA, India, Spain, Egypt, Libya, and Vietnam. In this Friday night edition of the podcast show, we will be talking a little bit about the NFL Thursday night football game between the Denver Broncos and the San Diego Chargers, how that all played out. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the Raiders. Yes, the Raiders are making headlines right now. Of course, everybody knows that they're trying to make their move to Las Vegas. We're going to talk a little bit about what the Davis family has done to get them closer to Vegas. Also, we got some MLB action going on with the playoffs. We got Toronto and Cleveland. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the ball game that's headed up for tonight, as well as we're going to be talking about the Dodgers win over the Washington Nationals to advance to face the Cubs, headed up for tomorrow night. We also got some NBA news to talk about a little bit. We're going to get off into the Detroit Pistons with Stan Van Gundy and his distaste about the Pistons offense and what they need to do to improve. And we're also going to be kicking off the roll call. Will you get picked to go over the air by me? We'll soon find out.
And now, it's time! Roll call, what? Roll call, what? Hey, yo, just do it! Do it! Do it!
That's right, roll call, where you are selected by the Scoop Podcast Show, and I handpick to announce you over the air. Today's fan of the day is, drum roll please, Lauraban Rajini Joaquin out of Imphal, Manipur, India. You are the Scoop Podcast Show fan of the week. Congratulations. I hope I'm saying your name right. If not, please send me a personal message. Just go to facebook.com/The Scoop Talk Show. Send me a message. Let me know how it's properly pronounced. And the next time I call your name, I will get it right. Once again, the fan pick of the day is Lauraban Rajini Joaquin out of Imphal, Manipur, India. Now, let's start the podcast show, shall we? Starting with the NFL. Thursday night contest between the Denver Broncos and the San Diego Chargers didn't go as quite as I thought it would be.
Aww. Say what?
Come on, man.
Stop. Please, just stop that. But anyway, San Diego pulled out the victory. They beat Denver. And I wouldn't say the game went kind of back and forth, but in a way it kind of did. For those of you that was watching the game, if not, I don't know what y'all saw. Maybe y'all can tell me, but that's what I saw. San Diego jumped out to a 7-0 lead in the first quarter when Phillip Rivers tossed a 5-yard TD pass to Hunter Henry. Second quarter, it was a field goal contest. Denver gets 3 off of Brandon McManus' 29-yard field goal. And they answered back. Josh Lambo, he kicked a 37-yard field goal, making it 10-3 San Diego. But it was that third quarter. For some odd reason, the Denver Broncos could not muster up anything to get a score of any kind. Lambo kicked 3 field goals in that third quarter. A 21-yarder, a 31-yarder, and a 32-yarder. That made it 19-3. Denver fans probably was a little bit worried, but this is the Broncos we're talking about here. They're a good football team this year. After all, they are the Super Bowl champions. So, in the fourth, Trevor Siemian, he throws a 5-yard TD pass to Benny Fowler. And Brandon McManus, he kicked a 46-yard field goal, making it a 19-13 game. It was kind of tight down the stretch, but we have to add that safety in the opening quarter of that fourth quarter. Not even but 1 second for safety, 2 points on the side of San Diego, and they end up holding off. The defense staved off and hold off Denver by your final score, 21-13. It was kind of neck and neck according to the stat sheets. That third down efficiency, Denver had the edge over that. But it was the penalties that I was circling on that really kind of hurt the Broncos throughout this contest. They had 12 penalties for 103 yards to San Diego's 3 penalties for only 20 yards.
Come on, man.
And San Diego controlled the clock more, maybe by close to about 7 minutes. But other than that, the fans at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California, with 58,904 in attendance, saw their Chargers beat the Denver Broncos 21-13. Denver now falls to 4-2. They're second in the AFC. San Diego is 2-4. They still got a long way to go in the AFC West, because Denver is way above them by 2 games. Keeping up with the NFL, the Raiders, yes, the Raiders has made a situational move to Las Vegas that much more concrete. According to reports out of the USA Today, they're making strong efforts to secure a stadium potential relocation to Las Vegas on Friday. A public fund bill was passed by the Nevada General Assembly. By way of 28-13 vote, the approval has now been granted for the state to contribute roughly $750 million towards the proposal of a $1.9 billion project to build this stadium. But there's still work in progress to be done before any agreement is to move on, including the approval of the NFL. The NFL still got to put their stamp of approval on it, according to Raiders owner Mark Davis, the son of Al Davis. So the Raiders are looking at the step in the right direction, closer to becoming, shall we say, the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right.
But according to the organization, Oakland is still thought to have at least some level of interest in keeping the team around long term. But in order for the Raiders to secure this move to Vegas, The bill signing will be scheduled for Monday, but for at least 24 of the 32 teams, owners, has to vote in favor of the project. So what I'm getting out of that, that's all it takes. If 23 decided they wanted to go with it and the 24th said no, not going to happen. Aww. Simply not going to happen. But we'll keep you up to date with that story as it continues on developing with the Raiders and their move to Las Vegas right here on the School Podcast Show. Now moving on to the MLB. Of course, everyone knows that the playoffs are in, and now it's down to 4 teams. The final 4, not the frozen 4. Hey, man! But the final 4 in Major League Baseball. You have Toronto, Cleveland, representing the American League, and you have the LA Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs representing the National League, the senior circuit as they like to call it.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Yes, I'm serious. Stop laughing. Jesus. But anyway, the Dodgers won the series last night 4-3. And it really wasn't more of a offensive contest until late in the ball game, because I got a chance to watch some of that game. I was flipping back and forth on the screen of my television, watching this game, watching that game, Thursday Night Football, Dodgers and Washington Nationals. And I really didn't get a chance to see a lot of the stuff, but I did see enough to witness that the Dodgers are moving on to keep California dreams alive of bringing the World Series back to Los Angeles. Washington jumped out the floodgate first with Espinosa, single to right. David Murphy scored, making it 1-0 Washington in the bottom of the second. And then it was just a pitching duel between Clayton Kershaw and Julio Arias. Great stuff. I mean, they was giving it they all, you know. But it was a great pitching duel nonetheless between the 3rd and the 6th. You had on the mound Julio Arias for the Dodgers and Mark Repskinski for the Washington Nationals. Critical, tight. You didn't want to overexert the pitchers. So it was kind of treated like an all-star game where their pitches was limited, their innings was limited, but nonetheless, they was effective throughout the contest. Until the 7th. And what a big 7th inning it was for the LA Dodgers. Peterson led off. On the first pitch that he saw, he homered to left. Ruiz, single to left. Barnes scored. Turner tripled to center, scoring Kendrick and Ruiz. The Dodgers got 4 runs in that inning, 4 big runs in that inning that turned the game around. Starting out with Peterson's homer to tie the game. Only thing that Washington could do was to get 2 more in the back, get 2 more in the bottom of the 7th, over Hazley's homer to left, and that was your final score, 4-3. Dodgers went on to win the series, the best of 5, 3-2. Congratulations to the LA Dodgers. Now they move on to face the Cubs. Arias get the win. He pitched 2 innings, got 1 hit, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Repskinski, he earns the loss. They pulled him early. He got no innings, people.
Snap now.
Yeah. He didn't get no innings. No hits. 1 earned run, 1 walk. Didn't strike out anybody. But like I said, they was treating this game kind of tight. And Clayton Kershaw comes in to get the save. Can you believe it? Clayton Kershaw gets the save. Coming out of the bullpen. He's a starter. coming out the bullpen. But I've seen it happen before. He pitched 2/3 of an inning and got a strikeout in front of 43,936 at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. So congratulations again to the LA Dodgers. And we're going to see how interesting this series between the Cubs and the Dodgers turn out to be. Because for me, when I break down both sides, I'm looking at the National League and I'm saying to myself, okay, this is going to be more of the fundamentals. This is going to be more of the pitchers lasting more than 5 innings, giving good quality starts. It's not going to be about the big bats, but it's going to be more about the situational strategies of both the managers, Dave Roberts and Joe Maddon. In crucial moments of the game, what they're prepared to do. Who's going to pull out? Who's going to bring in? Who's going to pinch hit? Who's going to do what? Now, when I take it over to the American League, they're more explosive. You're going to get big innings between Toronto and Cleveland. Run production is going to be really, really crucial and big in this. Getting guys, and particularly first batter on base, to get them over in the scoring position. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. So I'm looking at that matchup to be exciting as well. Regardless of the record, they all at 0-0. New games in this postseason for all 4 of these teams in the Final Four. And then on tomorrow, Toronto and Cleveland plays another game. That's a 4:08 p.m. start. And then the Dodgers and Cubs will open up their series against the Cubs in Chicago at 8:08 p.m. For Toronto and Cleveland, the probable starters on the bump, J.A. Happ, representing Toronto, and Josh Tomlin is representing Cleveland. Happ is 20-4 with 163 strikeouts. Tomlin is 13-9 with 118 strikeouts. So that's going to be another good pitchers duel right there in itself. And they're going to be playing at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. And for the Dodgers and Cubs, at Wrigley, the friendly confines of Wrigley, you're going to have probable starters at the bump. Quinta, Medea, representing L.A., John Lester, representing Chicago. Medea, 16-11 with 179 strikeouts. John Lester, 19-5 with 197 strikeouts. What a way to open up this series between LA and Chicago. But you know what's going to kill me with this game overall, though, is the travel itself. Because you're flying from Central Standard Time to Pacific Standard Time, and that could take a toll on a team.
I can feel it.
Because we know, living in the East and the Central, that it's tougher on the West Coast teams to fly our direction versus us to fly their direction.
I can relate.
Time goes up, people, in case y'all didn't know that. But I'm quite sure you did.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I know I should be ashamed of myself. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody out there. I didn't mean to mess with your intelligence like that. I'm sorry. But anyway, for the West Coast teams, it's a little bit more difficult because they're losing sleep time. Everything is much more fast-paced than it is East going West, Central going West, because you get that time back and everything changes. So I'm looking forward to watching the Dodgers and Cubs, and hopefully it'll turn out to be the series that I look forward to be, because after all, the Cubs get another opportunity to make it to the World Series after that fiasco several years back that cost them a chance to go to the World Series with that situation that they had. And y'all know what I'm talking about. ESPN been showing it. But this is redemption for the Cubs to try to do what they need to do. But I don't think the Dodgers are going to be an easy rollover and go down like that. They're hungry too. So I'm going to keep an eye out on that. And I'm quite sure you will too. This segment of the Scoop Podcast Show is brought to you by, in conjunction with and in association with, KSC Entertainment LLC. KSC Entertainment LLC. Chase your dreams. Don't let your dreams chase you. Hey everyone, this is Sean Harris, host of the Scoop Podcast Show. Be sure to catch the Scoop Podcast Show every week. You can also go to the show's Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/The Scoop Talk Show. There you'll see archives of pictures, videos, and blogs from the Scoop Talk Show. You can also find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and all your other social media outlets. That's the Scoop Podcast Show each and every week.
Hey, what's up, all you lovely people? Please subscribe and follow me on all social media. Your support is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Now over to the NBA breaking news. In Detroit, there has been some issues that's going on in Detroit. And Stan Van Gundy has not been happy with that. And he voiced it out and says that the Pistons, quote, have to get a lot better on offense, unquote. Now, this is coming out of the USA Today. But the regular season doesn't start for another 2 weeks. And they've already lost Reggie Jackson. He expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a knee and thumb injury. That is a big blow to the Pistons at the guard position. Big blow. Because he played tremendously last season when he got brought over there. Stan Van Gundy went on to say, quote, we got so much improvement to make, unquote. Quote, offensively, our ball movement, our execution in terms of screening and things have to get a lot better. We got some major challenges because we played out of nothing but Reggie's pick and rolls, which was true. Pretty much. Now we're going to have to rely upon getting more ball movement, unquote. That was Stan Van Gundy talking to NBA.com reporter. And he's right. Because without Reggie Jackson in the lineup at that guard position, they're going to have some problems. Big time. That is a tough pill to swallow for the team. But they're trying to make attempts to adapt to life without him in the meantime until he returns. But we're talking 6 to 8 weeks. Man, that's a long time.
Snap now.
That's a long time in an 82-game season. Not long in the NFL with 16 weeks. Not long in... That's long in NFL with 16 weeks, but not long with Major League Baseball. You got 162 ball games. So it's not long in the NBA neither. But the Pistons do not want to start out the floodgates to open up the season trailing in the standings. They need Reggie Jackson. They really do. The Pistons' record was 44-38. They finished 8th in the NBA in the Eastern Conference last year. Points per game, they was ranked 19th out of 30 at 102. Opponents' points given up 101.4. That was 12th amongst 30 teams. They got to get better, like Stan Van Gundy said, on the offensive side of the basketball. And also, they got to play much more better defense. Half-court defense, to be exact, in my opinion. They made it to the Eastern Conference playoffs last year, but they were swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers, who went on to win the NBA title. So you can see the improvement that needs to be made, especially now that Reggie Jackson has gone down. You can see that without a shadow of a doubt. They're going to need him. They're going to need him. But we'll see how that story develops with Reggie Jackson and the Pistons, because they do open their season October 26th against the Toronto Raptors. And we'll see where the Pistons are and keep you, the listener, and NBA fans out there updated on this story like we do with every story on the Scoop Podcast Show. We're right here at the Scoop Podcast Show and the Scoop Talk Show. We bring the scoop, the whole scoop, and nothing but the scoop. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you so much for listening to the Scoop Podcast Show with your boy Sean Harris. And a special thank you to the fan pick of the day, Loribam Regini Joaquim, out of Imphal, Madhapur, India. Thank you for liking, supporting, and keep following the Scoop Podcast Show as well as the Scoop Talk Show. And also I'd like to thank you, the listeners out there, for making the Scoop Podcast Show and the Scoop Talk Show what it is today. Because without you, this show or what I do wouldn't be possible. I would also like to give a special shout out to my sponsors, KSC Entertainment LLC. Thank you so much for your support. And don't forget, you can follow the show's Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/Scoop Talk Show, where you'll find articles, pictures, photos, videos, and much, much more. Also, you can find the Scoop Talk Show and me on Tumblr. You can also find me on Twitter at CEZAAR19, including YouTube. You can catch all my video articles and archives right there on YouTube up under Sean Harris. I'm out of here like the breeze through the trees, and when I'm gone, I'm taking all the leaves. Peace, take care, and I'll see you next time.